welcome everybody.
Hello.
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 So, what were your opinions on the intro?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Did not hear it.
Alright, you'll have to listen to it later. Alright, well,
You slacker.
welcome everyone. We are continuing. This will be session 3 of our GURPS Dune campaign. Before we begin, does anyone have any points they wish to spend or any changes or rearranges on their characters? Because after this session begins, characters are locked in.
Yeah, I dumped 2 points into intimidation because I should have had it and didn't. Not great at it, but
Actually, no, I take that back. It's beginning of next session, the characters get locked in. You have 3 sessions.
Nothing for me at this current time.
I don't think I need to make any changes unless anybody notices any gaps.
Alright, a quick recap from last session. The PCs travelled to Kaitane to meet with Lady Tanielu of House Tanielu to discuss 2 things. First, the secret deal that is going on. Apparently, they have some information that they wish to use as trade for House Danann to endorse them to House Atreides once the Atreides take control of Arrakis. The second thing was to arrange an actual business agreement where House Danann would provide services to House Tanielu to improve efficiency of their various operations. During this time, you met up with Lady Tanielu's husband-to-be, which was Benedict Hasselvander, who invited you to dinner, but you last minute reneged due to a gut feeling from Valtieri. Which may or may not have been a good thing.
Plus the guy was an asshole.
He is a bit of a dick. After that, it was decided, or after the arrangements were made and contracts signed and so forth, it was agreed that the PCs would return to Caladan to discuss this with the various house peoples, in lieu of travelling to Arrakis to meet a Wire or Weir Jedrel. I'm not sure how the Welsh pronounce W-Y-R.
It's just weird.
So Weir Jedrel, who has information that you seek. And we shall pick this up on Caladan. Is there anything that your characters in particular wanted to take care of before anything major happens? So as soon as you arrive back on Caladan.
I believe the intent was to report back in, yeah?
Yeah, mission debriefing, share all the info.
So we will assume that that has all taken place. There will be follow-ups to that. However, is there anything that you wanted, anything specific, some research or things that you want to set in motion before the follow-up briefing?
I don't think so. He says, knowing he's going to regret that later.
All right, so then you will find yourselves. Oh shit! These images. Summoned to the Great Hall at Castle Danann to meet with Lady Gwendolyn, Ori, and Duar to discuss your further mission. So, you have, I assume that in your debriefing, you have conveyed all the information that you've learned. You haven't held anything back.
Correct,
Right.
yeah. I would.
So, the meeting has been convened to discuss particulars post your departure to Arrakis. Assembled is Ori, Duar, and Lady Gwendolyn. And details are given to you that during the, because Arrakis is currently in transition from, or handover from Harkonnen to House Atreides, Count Fenring is currently the governor overseeing that transition. And he is keeping a very mindful eye on all activities that are taking place. When you arrive on Arrakis, you will be expected to meet with Count Fenring, and no doubt he will ask the nature of your business. Ori will say, it is likely that Count Fenring's Bene Gesserit wife, Margot, may be present, so you must speak in half-truths. You are to tell them you are on official business for House Tanielu to evaluate their spice productions for efficiency improvements, or for efficiency and improvements. Present this churn contract No one must suspect the true nature of your business there. And Ori will hand you a very nice scroll tube. He will hand that to most likely Valtieri.
Right.
So you can open that, and you will see that it is a standard contract for the work that you intend to do for House Tanielu, to inspect their productions and do what your house does, or do what your house is known for.
I will research that later.
Research what? What we're known for doing?
Or not research that, but I'll go over the contract.
Well, the contract, it looks fairly straightforward, and it gives you a legitimate reason for being there. Duar will step up and he says, when you arrive on Arrakis, you must seek out a water seller in Arrakeen by the name of Levar Alban. When you find this man, he will give you directions to find the smuggler Wayar Jedrel, who is currently in hiding. You must be careful, as Wayar is wanted by the Harkonnen as a loose end to their scheming. With you, you will have a security detail of some 12 house troops and a contingent of assessors and advisors. Also, be warned, there may be Harkonnen agents still present on Arrakis. So keep all your activities discreet. So further details are given to you, just regular formalities and what you're expected to find and so forth. But they are the key details that have been given to you.
Very well.
How hard can it be?
And we're all going to die.
Yep.
You also made aware that there are agents of the Atreides that are also on Arrakis at the moment. Duncan, Idaho, is known to be there, and Thopter Howard, if not already there, is due to arrive in Arrakis soon to take care of other matters there. Do you have any particular questions?
None that I can think of.
Yeah, I can't think of anything yet. Now, all we have on Weir is just the name. We don't have any other information, do we?
Just the name yet. You know that this person is a smuggler, and when the Harkonnens double-crossed them and killed everyone, this person managed to make their escape and is hiding with the Fremen, or under the
Right.
protection of the Fremen. This was given to you earlier.
Well,
And then you are, of course, given the correct challenge and response codes and so forth when dealing with the war seller.
How?
Sorry, did my phone beep?
well, at least it's not
What?
bells
I
and
can't
street
hear you.
traffic.
I'm deaf now.
Sorry, not sorry.
Bells, street traffic, and occasionally loud strangled birds.
At least there won't be any church bells this time.
Is it wrong that I totally wanted to suddenly hear church bells ringing and Brian to go, "What the hell?"
I guess Tycho would take a moment after the meeting is kind of adjourned to talk with Ori about the new contract with House Tanielu and farming to see if there's basically how well he did and any feedback.
Okay, so that's a work in progress. He will tell you that things are progressing, and they look to be progressing well.
Until you brought it up and jinxed it.
We'll end up passing the contract around so everybody can familiarize themselves with what the cover story is, basically.
I'm not even going to look at it.
At present, there are no Danann assets on Arrakis, so yeah, your arrival there will be the first presence of Danann on the planet.
So Harkonnen is officially out at this point, and Atreides is not yet officially in. Is that
Correct.
true?
But
Transition
it's in the transition period. Count Fenring is the current governor overseeing everything. So he's in charge. You will have Atreides there, and you will have a Harkonnen presence, but that's only, Atreides are there beginning their stuff. The Harkonnens are finishing their stuff.
I'm looking forward to seeing who you've cast as Fenring. And lest I forget, I've been meaning to mention it. I do appreciate the little outlines on the character images.
Oh, the frames?
Yes, because it seems like I'm the only one that does that kind of stuff when we're GMing, and it's like nice to see somebody else doing that.
I only did it because there's the token tool that I use, or that I used previously to do character picture tokens. It has a frame tool as well, so it makes it easy.
So you cheated.
I cheated, yeah. Well, I used a tool or a utility to do it. It's no different than using Photoshop.
I just use Inkscape. GIMP and Inkscape.
That works too.
Right. Well,
So, no questions. Of course, your business here should not be known to the Atreides. Of course, the Atreides are a ally, so if you need assistance, you can call upon them. But they're not to know the nature of your business beyond what the cover story is.
yeah.
Very well.
All right, so if there's nothing else, you wrap up your business and
Actually, there is one question that just occurred to me. How long are we expecting to be there?
Probably until
Officially.
the end of the
Ori
run.
says you will be there as long as needed. Use your judgment. Return only when your mission is complete.
I mean, officially.
That is the official answer.
As far as the
Well, the Chome
contract
contract,
goes.
it's months to years sort of thing. It's a long-term thing.
Okay. So we're moving.
Well, House Danann will eventually go there as a vassal to the Atreides. Although Lady Gwendolyn has specifically said that she is not going to go. She has no stomach for the dry heat and such, so she is staying on Caladan.
Well, off we go, I guess. We're packing everything.
Well, eventually, but not on this particular trip. What you guys are doing is separate from moving the house.
Well, everything that matters to us individually.
Yeah, so you
The
can
nature of
bring
which I have no idea.
you can bring whatever you want. All right, so the meeting will wrap up. As you leave, Lady Gwendolyn gives you a sort of blank look, which you read as, "Don't fuck up. Don't make us look bad."
Slight nod, and then begin to go prepare.
You will have 2 days before a guild highliner to Arrakis will arrive. So, any particular preparations you'd like to make?
Can't think of anything. Aside from being prepared for long-term occupation.
This will mean that you will also have to organize like accommodation and all that sort of stuff.
That means that has not been prearranged.
that has not been prearranged.
All right. Well,
Give me I guess, savoir-faire high society roll, Valtteri.
blah blah blah. Okie dokie.
Hey.
You would know that, as is custom, you would have safe lodgings at the Imperial Palace in Arrakis.
Yeah, it's just what I was thinking, actually.
It would be very uncalled for if you were denied lodgings there as a minor house of the Landsraad. But there are other accommodations, and there are other families and houses that have estates there as well. So if you wish to buddy, you could probably contact some friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, remind me what communication is like long distance.
No FTL. Well, no FTL communications. It is messages are transferred via guild ships.
Right. And the next ship coming in is 2 days, so there's no point in sending word ahead.
Nope. But if you wish for word to be sent ahead, then I assume you could have made arrangements for that prior to your departure, since it's been a little while since you arrived back from Kaitain. So if you want,
Well,
if you make I guess that would be administration.
yeah, that'll work, I guess.
Successful administration roll.
Because I don't have it.
Spend some points.
Somebody will have to do
Get
that.
it.
All right, so successful administration roll will allow you to do pre-prep and send advanced notification of your arrival if that's what you wish. Is that the plan?
I think
That's
so.
the plan. We're trying to show that we're there on official business, so right, my Lord Tansen?
Yeah, I have no opposition to this.
Speak, my Lord Tansen. You must speak.
All right,
the
and
big man.
I'm assuming that this notification is to the Count.
Yes.
Or his administration. They're made aware of your arrival.
So I take it the next step is boarding the ship to go to Arrakis or Dune.
Desert planet.
Desert planet.
Beat you.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 days will pass. and you will board a space lighter, which will take you to the Guild Highliner that is in orbit over Caladan. You will also note that several ships from the Atreides and other vassals of the Atreides are also boarding this Highliner. So, after loading is complete, you
Not there. Over there.
found it. After loading is complete, it takes a few hours. Then it is announced that the Guild Highliner is to depart Caladan for Arrakis. The notification is sent, and moments later there's a little bit of disorientation. I guess you can make health rolls to see how well you survived holding of space.
Don't wanna.
Critical failure has you nauseous and throwing up. The rest, you're just a little headache or... wow, lots of failures. So, with the exception of Atticus, everyone is feeling a little disorientated, out of place. But you soon find yourself in orbit around the planet Arrakis. For your characters, has anyone been here before?
I
think
likely
I
would
have.
not.
It's possible Tycho may have in service to House Danann.
It's up to you.
I don't think Danann will have had much to do here since it's been in the Harkonnen for 80 years.
True. So probably not.
So, first time trip for everyone then?
Looks like.
Yeah, I'd say first time.
You then begin to disembark from the Highliner and find yourselves landing at the starport near Arrakis City.
Here we are at the center of the universe.
Excuse me while I have a coffee fit.
I heard coffee.
I wish. The starport at Arrakis is huge. Unfortunately, I should have grabbed the screenshot. I didn't, but I'm sure you've all seen it. You will land and disembark, you and your troop of house troopers and your entourage of advisors and such will disembark, and you will see walking across the tarmac is someone that is dressed in some sort of official garb. The first thing that you notice, though, when you disembark is the heat. The current temperature is
Oh my god, hot.
oh my god hot. Compared to what you're used to, this is extreme. It is 47 degrees Celsius, which is 116 Fahrenheit, I believe.
Ow.
This very much reminds me of when I got on a plane in Germany in December and got off of a plane in Saudi Arabia, and, the next day. It's like, bam! Oh.
Canada and
It
Georgia.
is like a wall of heat that hits you.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat.
That don't help.
It's a good thing my bioplast suit absorbs my sweat.
So I will get health rolls.
I already had a health roll.
You can make. I assume this can be a survival desert, a health-based survival desert roll, if you wish.
Right. Because we were trained for this.
I should point
not gonna
out.
be any different.
I should point out that this is at -3.
Should point that out before we make the rolls.
So success by 0 for me.
Everyone is success by 0 except for Valtteri. So Valtteri, you will eventually suffer 1 fatigue due to sweat and just plain coping with the heat.
You need an umbrella like Thupher had in the movie.
Be perfectly happy with that.
In the shade, the temperature on Arrakis is 84 Fahrenheit or 29 degrees Celsius.
That seems a little low.
That's in the shade.
Still seems a little
the
low.
temperature in the desert and the sands, or the sand temperature, is 72 degrees Celsius, which is 161 Fahrenheit.
So it's a mite warm.
Skin begins to burn at 160 degrees.
Oh, and it just occurred to me, Tonson is a redhead.
Yep.
That means he's
Yeah.
going to be burned like a mofo.
So this official-looking person will step up to you guys. How do you react?
Well, I'm going to probably intercept, or at least step in front of Tonson, until we know who this person is. What the hell?
For that test run.
Uh-huh.
That technique is being weird.
All techniques are weird.
Yeah, well,
And the GM,
I thought it was.
Brian doesn't fix them because he's a slacker and claiming that he's sick and crap.
I thought it was that when it was didn't have any points in it that it was being weird, but this one actually had points in it.
It's weird.
I have to delete the points and then re-add them to make them correct.
Yeah.
You should be able to just decrement the point.
I shouldn't have to. I have a whole
you don't
bunch of...
have to. If you're the GM, it works just fine.
I'm not the GM though. And I actually have a whole bunch of techniques. That's why it's irritating for me because, boot up the game and it's like, all right, let me Let me spend a couple minutes fixing the dang techniques.
You just need to get me to open your character sheet first. That should fix it.
Uh-huh.
Anywho,
So, Atticus, you will step forward and intercept,
Yep.
and the person
Got
will
the
stop.
hand on the yep. Got the hand on the weapon because I don't know who this person is.
The person will stop, raise a hand in a sort of friendly gesture like ow, and says, I am here on behest of Count Fenring. I am to escort you to the Imperial Palace.
Right. Is
Well,
there
actually,
some
I am to escort Lord Tanson to the Imperial Palace.
yes, God, please, let's get indoors.
Is there something they specifically have to prove identities and such like that?
Pretty much our house colors.
Well,
And
anybody
our
can wear
banner.
colors.
May need to get heraldry or something. Yeah, may not.
Yes, since security is very much a thing, your escort will hand you a some sort of note or data pad. I assume
And
data
that-
pads is still a thing of some sort.
Maybe. Well,
I don't
I
remember
will
seeing
step
something.
and immediately hand it off to Valtteri.
Actually,
without even
so
looking at
it'll be a scroll with a signet. Which I guess you could verify. Valtteri can make a heraldry roll.
What do I have to?
You're the counter whatever guy, right?
Counter assassins. Yeah, I don't have heraldry.
Got character points.
Don't want to blow them all.
In any case, whatever official means of recognition is customary, this person ticks all the boxes. You do not have anything to suspect about this person.
I'm certain we could come up with something that will drag it out even more, but
Surely.
on the presumption that he's checks out, and just at least meant to look to Lord Tonson, and it's Lord.
Your escort says the invitation is to Lord Tanson specifically, but you are all welcome.
Ethan, you're supposed to talk. You're the talker.
Oh, everything seemed to be going according to plan.
That's not gonna work. Excuses.
Yeah. Very well. Let's be off.
All right, so who do you take with you?
I was thinking everyone, unless someone has a reason not to.
Including your troops and your extras, your assessors and such.
I forgot we did have them.
And probably
Would it be
dead.
commonplace for us to bring them? I imagine not. That's something of a large party.
I
So
don't think we
probably
want to
at
leave
least-
them. I don't think we want to leave them on the tarmac.
Well,
No.
no, but I didn't know if the going to the palace would.
Yeah, probably at least need to
Yeah.
let the dude know, hey, we need to arrange for housing for our people. That kind of
Yes.
thing. And
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
All right, so direct that to the your escort.
Yep.
What do you want your escort to do about it? 'Cause at the moment,
Essentially,
the escort is here to pick up you and whoever you want to bring with you to the meeting with Count Fenring.
okay, so the four of us would definitely be going to the meeting with Fenring if he has someone he can contact or
well, there
No.
might be. We might, whoever's in charge of the actual detail here might be able to start getting the ball rolling.
We
Yeah.
did send word ahead. They should know that we have people.
All right, so give me another administration roll. All right, so on the tarmac, there's a dude with a sign holding up a sign saying, House Danann party, like you see at the airport.
Party of 30 or however many we have.
You have 17 plus you 4.
Party of 21.
All right, so there will be arrangements made to pick up the rest of your entourage, so you guys can go separately. Do you take any of your troops with you, or do you go with just you 4?
Probably just us four.
Surely nothing will happen.
Yeah, and I figure, if the norm is to bring some, then perhaps playing it off as a gesture of trust with the Count by not bringing any of our own house troops.
All right, the escort will then sort of give you a courteous nod and say, please, this way. Let's get out of this heat. And the escort will lead you off to a waiting Thopter, and then you will begin to board the Thopter. The Thopter will take off and fly towards the city of Arrakis. And you guys are familiar with this from whatever study that you've done previously. With that there, in the Imperial Palace.
It's only a model.
From up here, it looks like nothing but a model. Unless you have any particular questions of the your escort, the escort will just sit quietly and just enjoy the ride.
Can you tell me about the worms of Arrakis?
Why would we care about the worms?
I've heard about the worms of Arrakis. I want to hear more.
I figured you'd try to find out how the transition's going and all that stuff.
The
We don't get worms.
The escort says, I've never seen one myself, but I've been told that they can grow several hundred meters in length, and the biggest can be found in the open desert. Here in Arrakis, we are protected by the shield wall, and the escort will point to the rock structures around the place. I actually have a map of Arrakis too. Arrakis is up there.
How is the transition going with House Harkonnen moving out and House Atreides taking over?
Cheater.
The escort says, to my knowledge, everything is going as planned. People measuring stuff.
Yeah, that's an accident. I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
Oh, wait a sec. It's got locked things. Hang on. There you go. You should be able to do stuff with that.
It's all good.
The transition is going well. There has been little violence, but I'm sure the Count can update you more.
I've heard a little bit about the Fremen. Can you tell me a little bit more about their culture, or have you met any Fremen?
The Fremen are the local inhabitants of Arrakis. They live in the city. Their numbers are not quite known, but the Harkonnen estimate them to be in the tens of thousands. It is said the Fremen were here long before the Spacing Guild arrived. And the escort will say, during the period of the Harkonnen control of Arrakis, the Harkonnen and Fremen were at odds with frequent Fremen attacks on the Harkonnen mining operations.
What color are the escort's eyes?
The eyes on the escort are not blue.
How long have you been on Arrakis?
Only a number of months. I have been here as part of Count Fenring's governorship here. So, you will arrive at the palace. It is a huge structure. You are literally dwarfed by it. You will land in a sort of undercover, or like a hangar bay on a ship. So you fly into the Imperial Palace, and you will disembark the escort will then take you into the palace and will then take you before Count Fenring, unless there's anything that you wish to do just prior to that, if you need some refreshments or to freshen up or anything like that. The escort will give you time, but you are expected. So, assuming you're all good,
Nothing for me.
you will you'll travel down a bunch of halls. All these halls are large stone works. There is a lot of open air ventilation in this place, though there does not appear to be any sort of artificial cooling or anything like that. So there's no air conditioning of the sort that you're seeing here, at least. But despite that, the temperature in the palace is much more bearable. So you'll be led into a meeting room. Large doors open. You'll enter into this room. You will see Count Fenring.
That's probably not good.
Genetic eunuch.
You will see him standing behind a large stone table. There is a bodyguard that stands in front of the table, and off to the side you see the unmistakable image of a Bene Gesserit. Which you would know is Count Fenring's wife, Margot.
How is she unmistakably Bene Gesserit?
Because the attire she wears. Was it Atticus that had a thing?
Yes. He has a quirk where, he's terrified of Bene Gesserit. So he's going to be very, very skittish.
So there's a couple of guards at the door. Once you guys are let in, the guards will close the door behind you, and they will remain at the door on the inside. This is a large room, so you walk up to the table. As soon as you arrive, the Count will say, "Welcome to Arrakis, House Danann. Lord Tansen, I hope your trip was comfortable and the temperature here is not too unbearable."
Oh, many thanks for your welcome, Count Fenring, and the trip was quite well. And well, we'll adjust to the heat.
It is a stark contrast to your world of Caladan, I'm sure.
Indeed.
While this goes on, you will see that his wife just stands and watches. I guess Valtieri is probably best person for this. Maybe Tycho. If you have some sort of, I want to say, tradecraft skill or sort of general knowledge of the Bene Gesserit, you can make a tradecraft roll. That'll work. Or IQ roll. Do IQ. So
Both are the same.
Yeah, so Valtieri or Tycho, you can make an IQ roll.
What the fuck, man?
That works.
I had that one crit right at the beginning, and I've rolled utter shit since then.
At least it's still a success. So you will know that she's observing you very carefully. The equivalent of, say, body language, she's reading everything that you do, as is the Bene Gesserit way. Or at least so is the myth.
She's reading, "Oh my god, I want to get out of here! Get away from her!" in Atticus' body language.
So
yeah, she smells
she'll,
your fear.
yeah, she does.
She's probably looking at me, and she's probably like reading a stone block.
She'll look
not
at
as much as you
Atticus,
think.
and she'll give up a little bit of an eyebrow raise, like she's excuse me, coughing again. She'll look at Atticus, and she'll realize that Atticus is like tense, and yeah, you know that she sees this, and she's finding it a little bit curious. Maybe Atticus has something to hide.
Yeah, I didn't say what it was. I have no idea what it is. I can leave it completely, up to the GM.
So the Count will say, how long do you plan to be on Arrakis? Or is this a long-term engagement?
While the engagement will likely be longer term overall, our own precise time here is currently unknown. It depends upon how the analysis turns out.
I see. And the nature of your visit here?
We are assisting House Tanielu with their spice production and trying to see what knowledge of ours that we've gleaned from our agricultural practices can be used to support and perhaps even enhance their own spice production.
Ah, yes. I remember. Perhaps there are other houses here that could benefit from your wisdom. Who is it that actually has the contract, Chome contract?
I have it.
So the Count will ask, do you have some documentation of this visit?
And Tansen will nod to Valtteri.
Valtteri will present.
The Count's bodyguard will take this scroll tube. He will examine it first, and then he'll open it, unroll the scroll, and then hand it to the Count. The Count will read, and you can give me body language rolls in the box for those that are paying attention.
I have the skill, but I don't think I'm going to roll it in this case because he's disconcerted by the Bene Gesserit being present.
I actually don't have the skill.
You got people for that.
Alright, so both Tycho and Valtieri, you seem to think that his body language suggests he is convinced that everything seems legit. So he reads the scroll, he will nod, roll it up again, and then hand it back to his bodyguard, who will then put it back in its container and then hand it back to Valtieri. He says, then I won't keep you any longer. If you wish, you are welcome to lodge here at the Imperial Palace. I can make arrangements for yourself and your entourage. Unless, of course, you have made arrangements elsewhere.
That would be much appreciated, Count Fenring. However, we do have arrangements made elsewhere, though your offer is greatly appreciated.
He will sort of give you a nod. He says, while in the palace, I can guarantee your security. Elsewhere in Arrakis, I cannot. Be careful, young Tansen. Arrakis at the moment is a unpredictable place.
Oh, thank you very kindly, sir.
Now, if there's, unless there's anything else I can help you with, you are free to go on your way.
Tansen will give a bow and then head on out.
Actually, give me a savoir-faire roll.
Oof.
Trying to fail.
Yep.
All right, so you will dismiss yourselves. I'm assuming no one else had anything to say or anything they wish to say before leaving.
Not at the moment.
He's count. He kind of outranks all of us significantly.
Yeah.
I mean, Tansen's probably not even, what is he, like a Baron's son equivalent?
Yes.
Maybe not even that.
All right, so you will leave. As you walk to the doors, you will see that the guards will then open them for you. Atticus, since you're paying attention and you rarely take your eyes off the Count's wife, you will see that as you guys are walking away, she's walking up to the Count. By the time that you leave, she and the Count are talking.
Valtteri is making a mental note of the security arrangements here, just sort of gauging their readiness level, I suppose. Not necessarily trying to find a weakness or anything, just evaluating.
All right, give me a tradecraft.
I don't need a thing for that. That's just an FYI.
Well, you'll see that it seems to be fitting, given the location. There are guards posted at vital points and things like that.
Actually, having said that, I would like to determine whether or not they're sort of a body language assessment for the entire security arrangement. See if they're on edge or relaxed.
All right, give me a roll in the box.
What was it?
Body language.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess you could do that.
What's in the box?
Do you want me to do it too?
Well, no, since it was only Valtteri that was observing this. As far as you can tell, people seem to be working. So they're neither on edge or relaxed. They're
Business-like.
They're working. Yeah. So you guys will be escorted out. Your escort that brought you here will greet you and will ask if you need any special arrangements, or will you find your own way? And where exactly is it you need to go? And what arrangements have you made?
Yeah, where did we end up? I'm guessing if we got arrangements outside the palace, we're probably still at least close to the palace.
Hopefully.
So there will be like hotels and stuff like that. Other options, you could probably guest with another house, a friendly house. What arrangements did you make?
My Lord Tansen, what arrangements did we make?
Yeah, I was just thinking. Well, I imagine since we're going to be, at least the cover is working with House Tanielu, then to some extent we're probably going to want to be close by to wherever they're located, whether that's an office of some sort in Arrakis or if they have their own holding elsewhere. Then
Are
probably
they even
try
here
to.
yet?
Yeah, they have a small spice holding. Remember?
They do have a small spice holding. However, their office is in Carthage or Carthage. Carthage being the current capital of Arrakis.
And where was the potential rendezvous spot?
It was a water cellar in Arrakis. Where this person is, you're not certain. You are going to have to do some legwork. You just have a name.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's probably something we'd send Tycho and Valtteri for, with the like under. This is just the player throwing this out, with the suggestion of like, hey, we're going to need to make sure our people are supplied with water. So, hey, you're conveniently enough, you need to be looking for a water cellar.
And okay, so water cellar, CELLAR, right?
Yes, someone that sells water.
Oh, seller. Okay, merchant. Okay. Yes, in that
Okay, I
case,
understand
probably.
what you were thinking. Okay.
Yeah,
You're thinking of a physical location.
yes,
A
yeah. I was
cellar.
thinking like cistern. Yeah, cistern kind
No,
of
no, no,
cellar.
no,
Yep.
no. Water cellar.
Yeah, water
SELL.
merchant. Yep.
Yep.
Words
So
play in my head now.
water
Probably.
cellars on in Arrakis, they have like moisture farms, like wind traps that take moisture from the air. They collect that and then they sell it. The act of actual water selling is somewhat frowned upon. It's considered a little bit of a, a dick thing to be selling water.
Okay, well, if we're looking for a water cellar, then probably want to stay within Arrakeen, even though that might put us somewhat at a disadvantage of maintaining the cover.
All right, so explain, what is your accommodations or your lodgings? What have you arranged?
Perhaps there's a friendly outgoing house that we were able to rent the not necessarily like a full manor or mansion, but at least
Like a villa.
some form of residence from.
Right, the villa equivalent.
So taking over someone else's. Yeah, that's probably reasonable.
I figure it gets us privacy and a secure perimeter and stuff. So yeah, I think that would probably be what we shoot for at the very least.
All right, give me an administration roll. Okay, so you have secured the a villa, equivalent of a villa, whatever that may be, on Arrakis, from an outgoing house or a house that is departing. The villa has been basically stripped, so it is empty. So you will have to staff it yourself, but you can use it.
Well, with the possibility since we had our house troops and the advisors, they could have started moving stuff into the villa during the meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
By the time we get there, they've already like assembled and they're doing some of the initial, sweeps to make sure there's no dudes, waiting in the shadows to stab a person.
All right, so that is the case. So if that's where you want your people to be, that's where they'll be. So you have troops. They are basically going over the place. They have various scanners and stuff, and they're making sure the place is going to be safe. Let's have a universe roll to see if they found anything hazardous. On a poor roll, bad stuff
I've been rolling
remains.
really shitty the whole time.
Then let's have Valtieri make the universe reaction roll.
This
I
is
keep
where you
rolling
roll a
high.
30.
Eh.
The universe is cold and indifferent.
Yeah, there is nothing unexpected. It is just a vacated place. The house that departed didn't do a huge job cleaning up. It is, there's still a little bit of stuff laying around. They haven't completely vacated, but there's stuff that's been abandoned. And I guess you will fly the flag of House Danann,
Mm-hmm.
or you'll raise the flag of House Danann on this place.
Yep.
Do you have any particular ceremony for this, or does it just happen? And no one pays attention.
Nah, it's probably just a run of the mill thing.
What the hell are you
Maybe
talking
there
about?
normally might be.
Your nobility. There has to be a ceremony of some sort.
Well, that's
No-
what I'm
no
thinking. Maybe
ritual?
we
Like
have,
ceremony
but it's
when you
also
go to the
blazing hot outside.
bathroom. Yeah, well, in which case, you could just go, right, forgo the ceremony, it's too hot. And all of the soldiers are like, you're the best, sir.
That's my plan.
All right, so no ceremony. The flag is just raised.
We'll skip it for now.
You will see that the trooper that raises the flag, he's the only, well, him and someone else. There's two people that go to raise the flag because they can't let the flag touch the ground or anything like that because they're good soldiers. When they raise the flag, they will stand back and salute, even if no one else does.
I think everybody else is probably going to salute. They're just doing so from cover where it's not as hot.
All right, so the villa is still quite warm, but it makes use of a lot of open air spaces where the place is cooled by wind and shade. Like I said, at least the information that I found is that Arrakis in the shade is 18 degrees cooler than elsewhere, so that would make it 84 degrees Fahrenheit everywhere or indoors.
Bearable.
If
But
only
still-
just.
But still warm. I assume like your living or sleeping arrangements have some sort of air conditioning of some sort.
They better.
Maybe.
So
I will have to say that's one thing I did like in the movie is they in the middle of the day they're like, yeah, sorry, we got to close these doors, it's too hot.
it was a cool detail. All right, so after some hours, the I guess a squad of 12 would be led by a captain. So
Well, captain seems kind of high in rank there.
Well, I guess it kind of depends on the unit.
Yeah.
well, I
you
imagine it'd be a captain or lieutenant.
You could call it a little C captain.
He'll be a little sea captain then.
Or a second lieutenant.
He will approach and say, my lord, or actually he will approach Valtieri, since you are the person this relates to. He will say, the house is secure. We have not found anything of concern. We should be able to secure the grounds with our current force.
Very well. I'll go over the details later.
And he will give you a nod and then dismiss himself. All right, so you've got a place. You don't have any furniture, but I guess since you've made arrangements, you're going to have this place furnished at some point. Furniture will be arriving. All right, so what's your plan?
I suppose next is going to be setting up a chain of supplies for the troops, primarily food and nudge, nudge, wink, wink, a water cellar.
Okay. Excuse me. Give me an administration roll for the setting up of the food. All right, that is not a problem. You can make arrangements for that. And how do you guys go about finding this water cellar?
Seems like a streetwise thing.
I can work on that angle.
I suppose it is.
We have a name,
You
right?
could. Yes, you do.
So I'll start looking for a water cellar by the name of Labar Alban.
Are you going on your own?
Asks ominously.
I don't know. Does anybody else want to come with me?
No, thank you. It's hot outside.
Probably
I
would.
think he'll be okay on his own for this.
I'd probably get one. See if maybe I could get permission to have one of the household guards come with me.
Probably reasonable.
Yeah, that ought to be fine.
Keep in mind the house guards may or may not be aware of your side mission.
Okay, so I'll probably go on my own then.
It's up to you whether you want to let them know or not.
The less people that know, the better. But then again, they do know what our house stands for. So that's a good, they know that we're
Well.
farmers on the outside, but we're sneaky buggers on the inside.
Probably have a healthy sense of compartmentalization. So I figure it's fine.
don't,
They're used to not knowing.
So yeah, I'll have one of the household guards come with me. They know how to be quiet.
Yeah, they don't need to be ready and just to cover your back.
Okay. Does Tycho take any weapons or anything like that? Is he obvious?
I would have my all my weapons are hidden on me. I have a knife holster in the back, 2 up my sleeves, and I have my monowire garrote ring. So nothing's noticeable unless people are actively looking.
Okay. There is also, you have the option of wearing a still suit. And a still suit will... Sorry, coughing.
So were those provided?
You will have brought still suits with you.
Right.
They will be the standard, variety still suit. Or I guess you could have, if you didn't bring them with you, they would be here waiting for you.
Right.
Actually, more than likely they'd be here waiting. It's not something that you'd really buy off world.
I don't think I'd be wearing the still suit around town right now. I'd probably be wearing my own garb.
So, just some stats here. I'll copy this. So any health-based survival roles out in the open desert, if you're on the sand, sorry, that's the sand temperature. So if you're out in the open desert, it is health -3 to your survival desert rolls. A failure results in loss of 1 fatigue. A still suit will offset up to -4 on that roll. It doesn't give you a bonus, it only offsets. So if you're wearing a still suit outside, you're making a straight health roll. If you're in particularly hot weather, it's like, say, the -8. If you're laying on the sand, for example, it would be at health -4. When you do take fatigue, if you take fatigue, your encumbrance level will determine the amount of fatigue you take. So anytime you take fatigue, you'll add your encumbrance level to that. So, for example, combat lasting more than 10 seconds, you will suffer 1 fatigue. If you are in light encumbrance, then you would suffer 2 fatigue. If you're in medium, it would be 3 fatigue, and so on.
Well, I'm wearing smart bioplastic armor, so it is very resistant to damage if it has access to normal air and solar radiation. It can repair itself, healing any damage it has suffered at 1 HP every 6 hours. So it's absorbing the heat and distributing it.
It won't be absorbing the heat. You'll need an environment suit for that. It might absorb your body fluids and stuff, but it's not going to protect you from the heat. Or if it does, Ultratech
So
will
in
give
that
you
case,
it'll give you a temperature range that it works for.
what is the DR for still suits?
Standard still suit be the equivalent of a tack suit.
So
Is it-
18/6.
Is
Actually,
it not
no.
the desert environment
Sorry.
suit in
Yeah,
I
correct.
thought it was the expedition in TL10.
Yeah, I thought it was Expeditions.
Expedition, which
Yeah, my bad.
isn't on the. It's not on there. Okay.
Right. Well, I have that at DR5.
I had it just up here before.
Well, the bioplast bodysuit basically
it's
is like a
DR5.
skin. So the bioplast bodysuit is like a skin suit. So I'd probably wear that underneath, and then I'd put the still suit over.
Yeah, that's not going to work because the entire purpose of the still suit is it absorbs sweat and then recycles it and such like that.
Well, it also absorbs your breathing. So
If you have
not-
the thing on,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, so if I have the tube nose, then that's still at least capturing my breath.
But that's it. The
So
bioplast
which-
stuff doesn't sound like something that would match or would track in the Dune verse to me. That sounds like it's stepping all over the purpose of the still suit.
What exactly is the suit that you got? What's it called?
It's a bioplast bodysuit. And then I wear nanoweave armor over that. So the bioplast bodysuit is like a skin tight. It's almost like wearing undergarments. And then I wear gloves, jacket, trousers, vest, and shades, and assault boots over that.
What DR do you have your bodysuit as?
The bodysuit is 15/5 star.
Okay, so it will give you no thermal protection at all. So it will like capture moisture and such, but it doesn't give you any thermal protection.
What about 18/6 for nanoweave?
It's not the DR. It's the actual construction of the armor.
Oh, so it ought to be specifically like climate controlled.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's the environment suit, which it's possible that the environment suit can be tailored with heavier armor or whatever.
I'll have to take that into consideration.
How in the rule set do you get an armor suit to actually register as armor? Because I have it set up as defense, and it's got DR and everything, but it's not. When I enable it, it's not showing up on the defenses.
I think you have to put subtype something.
My character sheet.
Oh, maybe.
Looking, hold on.
Well, that is the case with the force screen. So
Yeah. So yeah, subtype is probably armor slash, not slash, but I don't know what that thing's called. The horizontal, no, vertical line defenses.
And
I
no,
pulled
that
up
didn't-
the adaptive nanoplast suit thing.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to have got it either.
I'm not
Maybe
sure.
Set it to armor.
You may have to also remove it from the inventory and then re-add it once you've got all those parameters set up. I don't remember exactly how it works.
Do that.
So I guess the one thing I probably would have taken into consideration is that any armor, knowing that I'm going to Arrakis, I would have maybe included some climate-controlled attributes to it.
Well, that is a still suit.
But I'd also beef up the armor.
Ah. Okay, I put it on the party sheet and put it back in my inventory, and it seems to be working now.
Just duct tape a steel plate to the front of the suit. You'll be fine.
Up armor.
Something that does occur to me, I'm wondering how GM's going to play this out, is they establish in the books that the still suits that you can just buy that are not Fremen make are kind of inferior to the Fremen still suits.
Guess we could handle that as quality. So,
Yeah, how would quality work in that case?
so your standard still suit would be normal quality, whereas Fremen would be fine quality. So whatever that means, less weight.
Probably true.
Yeah, Ultratech has something tailoring armor. I'm not sure exactly where that is though.
No, it's fine. It's just something to keep in mind.
So whatever fine quality armor, whatever traits that has, that'll apply to a Fremen suit, and it's probably going to be lighter weight
lighter weight, better whatever.
May give you better protection. So whereas a normal still suit will protect up until 120 degrees, the Fremen might protect, higher. We'll look at that later. If it ever becomes a thing.
Yep.
I'm sure Ultratech had a thing on armor quality.
I don't think you can normally apply quality to armor, but that's not specifically armor, so tricky.
We'll just say it gives you a greater range of protection. And maybe lighter weight. What's the normal weight on an environment suit?
6, I think.
So I guess we would do it. Actually, this is probably a better way to do it. So a Fremen still suit, we'll say its stats are as if it was one tech level higher. So I think that
potentially work.
I think that gives it extra DR and stuff. All right, so Tycho, you're going into the streets of Arrakis to track down this water cellar. What are the rest of you doing?
Trying to get acclimated to using a still suit.
Probably that, and any sort of ad hoc administrative tasks that come up as we're trying to get the team settled.
So, Tycho, are you wearing a still suit when you go into Arrakis?
Yeah, I'll be wearing or at least the expedition suit so that I have the climate control,
That is a still suit.
aka still suit.
All right, give me a roll on your environment suit skill. You will have it fitted, but apparently not desert fashion.
Still works.
All right, so give me a health roll. Minus nothing. Just
Survival
you could
desert.
survival
health roll.
desert if you wish, or you can. That's a health-based survival desert roll. Okay, now give me either an IQ roll or streetwise.
So do I take a fatigue?
You will take a fatigue plus your encumbrance level. So whatever your current encumbrance level is, add that as extra fatigue.
Thank you kindly to Daniel for pointing out the whole dragging the item to the party sheet and then dragging it back, because yep, that is working for me too.
Yeah, it has something to do with when you drop something into your inventory, then it sets it up. The import from GCA doesn't do it properly.
Bad GCA, bad.
Can you give me a reaction roll, please, Tycho?
Straight reaction roll or any pluses or minuses?
Okay, this is a reaction to see how people react to you as you go around asking questions and such. So any modifiers that might come into effect there, you may add to the roll.
Smooth operator.
I do have cultural adaptability, so does that help?
I'm not sure. How does
It
that
basically
work?
means I am familiar with all human cultures, so I don't make a fool of myself.
It just means, okay, in that case, it means you get no penalties. But I think everyone should have cultural familiarity anyway.
We were trained.
So, yeah, no, that will mean no penalties. But do you have any other
I have
things?
carousing.
All right, you can use carousing if you wish, but that means that you're going to be going to bars and such.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I'm not seeing anything on your character sheet that would suggest reaction bonus.
Just a straight reaction.
So, straight up reaction. Okay, despite being an off-worlder, you will navigate the streets and you'll ask around, and eventually you're given directions to a water cellar that goes by the name of Lavar Alban. He's on the outskirts of Arrakis. He has a wind farm there. You can go there and meet this individual. At least you know where he is or where to find him.
Okay. So now I know where he is. I take it we want to go meet him as a party, correct?
Oh, sorry. You still have one more roll to make. It's either your IQ roll or your streetwise, depending on which method you're going about doing it. IQ is just this is to find him. Your reaction roll is just for how people react to you.
I did do the streetwise. Success by 5.
Oh, sorry, my bad. All right, so you go
It's okay,
into
you're sick.
you go into the seedier parts of town then, and ask, less than honest people where you could find a water cellar. And then you will get some comments. When you see him, tell him that he owes me money. So, your plan, are you going to see this guy? Or are you going to gather the troop to see this guy?
Well, if I know exactly where to find him, the impression was that we all wanted to meet him. Or correct, Tansen?
Do we?
Or am I leading him to us? Or are we going to meet him?
Well, he was just the one that was going to give us the information to find the smuggler, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we don't necessarily.
He would give you the information.
Okay, so I am I have plausible deniability, so I will
Right.
just go.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I will go search them myself and get the information from them. So I will head there myself.
You go, boy. We have faith in you. Probably.
All right, so you will seek out this guy. You have your escort, one trooper, with you. I'll get you to make an extra health roll. This is a health-based survival. You'll take no fatigue this time. The previous fatigue that you took has not been recovered, so please note that on your stuff until you take some time to
Don't forget
recover.
to drink water.
Empty your catch buckets.
All right, so there's a large open field where there's a number of wind traps, which are sort of large, I'll say like almost clam-shaped, with grills that sort of point into the wind, and are obviously sucking any moisture that's available in the air from the air and containing it. There is a guy that is going between each one. He has a backpack with.
He's gonna look like old Luke Skywalker, isn't he?
He's going to look like what?
Old Luke Skywalker with Fremen eyes.
Oh, I wish I had thought about that. What's this thing?
Yeah.
So he's going from each one of these wind traps. He has a backpack that is a container which obviously carries water. He connects these up to the wind traps and is obviously collecting the water into this backpack container. When you approach, he looks at you.
That doesn't look like old Luke Skywalker.
No, but old Luke Skywalker would have worked so much better. If I was good enough, I'd Photoshop old Luke Skywalker's face into that outfit.
Daniel, make it happen.
He watches you approach. Are you armed or anything like that?
Not. I mean, everything is concealed. So if he can roll against my holdout and see if he notices anything.
Is your bodyguard, your trooper, armed?
He probably.
All right, so as you approach, this guy will look up and you can see, no need for body language, he feels a little bit intimidated. He says, can I help you? Do you need water?
I'll put my hands out in a placating way, showing that my hands are unarmed. And I'll just simply ask, are you Lavar Alban, water seller?
He will nod. He says, I am.
And you told us what the catchphrase that we needed to tell him, and I will repeat that phrase to him.
So the challenge and response is met. As you mention this, you'll see his like blue within blue eyes narrow a bit as he sort of looks you up and down. He will look around to see who else is sort of within earshot, or making sure that no one's within earshot, and then he will respond accordingly. At which point he will then walk up to you.
Stab you with a knife.
He says, "I've been told to expect your arrival. Are you the Lord Tennyson?"
No, I am not Lord Tennyson, but I am one of his associates.
Who is this Tennyson person?
Tanson.
Lord Tanson. Sorry. I am not Lord Tanson, but I am one of his servants. And I speak in his name.
We should go somewhere private to speak. Or perhaps I can come to your residence, bring you water.
That would be a good idea. We do need some water.
I will gather my things. He will finish up emptying the contents of this particular wind trap. He'll walk over to a cart, which has further containers on this cart, and then he will begin to pull this cart along as you lead the way. Can I get a perception roll in the box, please? Okay. So, do you take him back to the villa?
What is do I sense? What is his body language telling me?
Give me a body language roll in the box. His body language tells you that well, there's nothing that alarms you about his body language. He's working.
I'll kind of look at him and I say, do you have a place that is private that we can go to and have this conversation while I buy some water from you?
He says, of course.
Lead on then.
Then he will gather his cart and he will take you to a small dwelling which is off to the side of this moisture farm. He will pull up the cart and he'll gather the containers of water and he'll take them inside and he'll invite you inside.
I will tell the guard to, guard the entrance. And I'll head on inside.
All right. Inside, it's a simple affair. It's like has a bed and a living area. There are shutters that block the sun's intensity, and it is kept fairly shadeful inside. It's significantly darker inside than it is out. He'll put down his stuff and he'll gesture to a chair. Actually, it's not a chair. It's a mat on the ground that is at a low table. He will sit opposite that on a similar mat.
Before I take a seat, I will have a look around the room just to make sure that I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
You can make a perception roll in the box. You don't seem to find anything that gives you cause for concern.
I will take a seat then.
It says, "How can I help you?"
Well, as you may have already been informed, we are looking for a certain smuggler by the name of, and I give the name.
We're Jadrell.
Yes.
It says yes. You will find we're at Tuek Sietch, which on the map is there.
What is the best route that we can take to get to this 2X Siege?
He says, unless you know of the place, you will need someone to take you there. I can take you there. It is a long way.
Well, in that case, let me buy some water from you, and I will return in a day with an answer as to when we're going to be heading to 2X Siege.
He will nod. You will pay him some Solaris for water, and he will give you a canister of water.
And I will bid him adieu and head on back. I'll do a circuitous route back to our villa, looking for anybody that may be shadowing or possibly following, and try to avoid detection if need be.
Okay. You can make a perception roll into the box. I guess you could substitute observation for this roll if you wish.
I do not have that. Perception will work.
Shadowing?
I do have shadowing. But the shadowing is more me shadowing someone. I don't know if I can use shadowing to prevent shadowing against me.
I guess you could make a perception-based shadowing roll.
Oh, in the box. I'm sorry. Want me to
Yeah.
re-roll it again?
Yeah, shadowing is your shadowing versus the subject's vision roll. So in this case, you'd be making the vision roll.
I don't know why it wouldn't apply in reverse.
You want me to re-roll in the box?
No, it's fine. Okay, so you are heading back via a sort of roundabout way, and it appears to you that you are being followed by someone.
I will try to look for a corner or alleyway that I can go down. That would allow me to potentially intercept this person as they're coming around. Or actually, I may, if I notice that someone is shadowing me, I may turn around and just pointedly look at that person to basically say, I know you're following me, and see if there's any reaction to that first.
All right, so you make it known that this person's following, and
Don't
you will
say anything. It's more just basically I stop, kind of look around, look directly at that person. And it's like, tilt my head at them. Are you following me?
All right, so this guy looks to be a male of quite big build. He's dressed in like full body sort of robes. The only thing that you can see is his eyes. Everything else is sort of covered. I assume you've seen the movie and see how people get around
Yeah.
normally. So
What color are the eyes?
give me a perception roll. The eyes are not blue. Or if they are blue, they're not. They have not achieved their blue within blue look.
So after this guy notices I notice that he's following me, what does he do?
So instead of being secretive about it, you see that he just sort of stands there in the open and watches from a distance. He's no longer like moving from cover to cover sort of thing.
I'll look at my guard and I'll be like, looks like we got someone following us. What do you recommend?
He's not animated to talk.
He says, I can go after him if you wish, sir.
No, that's not a good idea. Maybe we can rig a trap ahead of us. We obviously don't want this person to follow us back to our villa. How much? I mean, I have photographic memory, so how much can I figure out a place between here and the villa where I can direct the guard to, and I go basically kind of split up. And we go 2 different routes to this location and meet there with the idea of trapping this guy if he's following either of us.
You could.
That's what I'll do. Is I'll basically tell the
Do you
guard.
have urban survival?
Yes, I do.
Make a roll on that. All right. So, yeah, you point out. Remember that place that we went past near the market, and yeah, you give him instructions.
So we'll split up and we'll basically both head towards that location, going 2 different things, and I'll keep an eye out to see who he's going to follow.
All right, since he's no longer, being sneaky about it, when you split, you can see that he continues to follow you.
Now,
He
question
will
is,
he
can
will
I
watch where the trooper goes, but he will continue to follow you.
I will try to lose him in the crowd, using stealth, seeing if I can just stoop down, move my body in such a way, and then kind of slip away in the crowd. So I'll
I
use
think
stealth.
that's actually covered by the shadowing. I think shadowing is used also to lose a tail.
Okay. Well, can I use stealth and shadowing? Stealth to get
Am I correct in
shadowing
that?
plus. Let me look at the skill.
Okay, so it's shadowing versus stealth, or your shadowing skill.
My stealth is higher, so I'm going to use. I'll probably use shadowing as an assistance to my stealth.
You can't use a complementary skill in this case, because they're both achieving the same thing.
Well, I use shadowing this time. So
I got a pig.
All right, so after, what is it, 5 minutes? After some 5 minutes, you lose this guy.
and I'll make my way towards the guard. I'll keep an eye out, make sure he's not following it then as I head my way over there. I'm going to be a little bit more stealthy this time to just try
In
not
fact,
to draw attention.
what is it?
And actually, I get a +1 to that because I
Yeah,
get
so-
a forgettable face. So it's by 6.
Wins by 5 leads you if you lose by more than 5.
That's actually success by 6 because I have forgettable face.
All right, so I guess in this case you have beat him by more than 5. So if I'm interpreting that right, he's lost you, but you still have eyes on him.
If
How
I
I'd
decide,
interpret it, yeah. Why
but
wouldn't you?
yeah, so I know that he no longer is aware of me. I wanted to make sure I lost him. I'm not interested in following him at this point. So
You're not?
actually, wait a minute. One
I'd be
second.
kind of curious to know who he's representing.
Actually, I am interested in following this guy. He's kind of got me a little bit hyped up a bit.
What, you want to kill him?
Not kill him.
Frickin' murder hobo, man.
But yeah, I think I will start to follow him. So I'm going to use my stealth and start to follow him instead.
Okay. So then you will
And
use...
we have the subcons, right?
You do, yes.
So I will basically do it, communicate with the guard to just head back on to the villa.
He says, sir, is everything okay?
Everything is okay. I am checking on this person that's shadowing me. I'm going to try to verify his identity.
Should I get reinforcements?
Negative. Head back to the villa.
And he then says, and if you do not return, where should we look?
If I do not return in, let's say, 1 hour, send out the guards.
Where?
I don't know. Across all of across all of the place. Just head back to the villa. I'll be fine.
Okay, sir. So, it is a shadowing roll that you need to make for this, not stealth. Alright, so you will follow this guy. He will look for you for a little while. You see he goes down some other streets and continues to look. He goes down the direction of the guard went, and he'll have a look, and eventually he gives up, realizing that he's lost you, and then he goes to what looks to be a bar of some sort, and he will enter the bar. For the rest of you guys, the guard will return to the villa, and he will report to Valtieri. He will say, "Sir, when we spoke to the water cellar, after we spoke to the water cellar, we were followed. Tycho and I, we split. Tycho was followed. He radioed in and told me that he has managed to lose his tail, but he is following the man that followed us. I do not know where he went."
Blue Falcon.
He instructed me that if he has not returned in an hour, we should send out reinforcements, but I do not know where.
I'm going to have him show me on a map where he last saw them trace a rough path where they went, and just stand by.
All right, so I assume that you have one of these hollow maps or
Something
hollow
like that.
projector. You'll bring up one of Arrakis. The guard says, "We met the water cellar here. We spoke to him, and we started to walk back to the villa along this path here. We learned that we were being followed here. Then Tycho went this way. I went this way back to the villa."
All right, well, I'm going to let everybody else know.
And there's nothing in particular about the direction that Tycho went
Yeah.
that is of any real significance. It's just another part of the city.
Yeah. So inform everybody else. I guess he could probably take care of himself, so I guess we just stand by.
And that's the last we ever heard of Tycho.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or he comes back and says, I need to get rid of this body.
All right. Does Tansen do anything about this knowledge?
No, he'll hold on to it and just essentially wait to see how things play out. This is one of the times where he'll just have to trust Tycho.
All right. So, Tycho, at this bar, or what you think is a bar, what are you doing?
We don't serve their kind here.
How many entrances into the bar?
There seems to be one main entrance, and there's a side door. The main entrance is open. The side door is closed.
And he went into the bar.
He went into the bar, yet through the main door.
I will basically, knowing that most people don't have a tendency to look at me, I'll walk into the bar, but I'll try to stay more in the shadows to pinpoint where the guy is. Mainly, I just want to see if I can see his face. And if I can get a clear view of his face, then I'll head back to the villa.
Well, you won't get a clear view of his face because of the stuff that he wears.
Well, if he's going to be taking a drink at all.
All right, so
you uncover.
Give me a stealth roll to see how well you sort of mix or walk in unnoticed. So you will step into the bar. There is a number of patrons in there. You will notice the guy that you have now followed is talking to another dude. Give me a roll on your tradecraft skill. All right, so this guy that he's talking to is wearing very much the same sort of attire as everyone else, sort of loose-fitting robes, except he doesn't have anything on his head. He's at a table and he's drinking, and yes, he's a dude disguised as a dude talking to another dude. The other dude, while he doesn't wear any sort of identifying stuff, you would pick him for a Harkonnen. He just has those facial structures and features and...
Nobody here.
Near.
That's enough information that I need to know. Harkonnen are following us. Okay, so I will exit stage and head back to the villa, making sure I'm not followed.
But you would know that it's a Harkonnen that's trying not to be recognized, or obviously recognized as Harkonnen.
Correct. There's a Harkonnen agent. Yep.
So he's got an ill-fitting wig on.
So I will, taking note of that, I'm not going to make a scene there. I'm just going to quietly exit and head back to the villa, making sure I'm not shadowed or followed.
All right, you can make a perception roll in the box.
Or is it a shadow?
All right, as far as you can tell, you have not been followed.
Then I'll head back to the villa.
All right, you arrive back at the villa.
I will relay everything to Tansen and every Valtteri and Atticus. Everything that I've talked, found out about the water cellar, that he can escort us to this Tuek Sietch. That we need to decide when we want to go to Tuek Sietch and meet the smuggler. That way I can form this water cellar tomorrow. So, and I'll inform them about basically everything about the Harkonnen trying to follow us back, that it was a Harkonnen agent. Ethan,
Yeah, I'm thinking.
He's Canadian, so it takes a little bit extra time.
Sometimes.
Sorry.
Indeed.
that was me.
Meta information: if you're to travel to this siege, you're going to have to make arrangements to acquire or charter a Thopter.
We get a Thopter, I can fly it.
And we'll just have to be wary of being followed. There's not much we can do with Harkonnen tails in terms of trying to get them to stop. That would potentially. Well, I mean, that'd be a lot of risk on the change, and I'm not too fond of that.
Are the Harkonnens supposed to be completely gone from Arrakis at this point?
Mostly. It is just the leftovers.
Then it might not be a terrible idea to sort of report that up the chain. Try to get them into trouble.
But in this case, it would appear that it was a Harkonnen that was trying not to be a Harkonnen.
Right. So that would potentially get them into trouble.
So what we need to do is charter 2 Thopters.
Now that's also kind of at pretty far out of the way. I'm presuming we're going to the. I may have missed. We're going to the pen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Tuek Sietch.
Yeah, that is definitely not. Okay, so do we know where is the spice holding for sexy lady? What's her name?
Carthag.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we need to at least have a explanation why we'd be going so far out of our way.
Unless
Well,
you
when is
do it on the super secret and stuff. Pay
That's why we
bribes.
get 2 Thopters.
when is House Tanielu supposed to arrive?
They're already here.
So when are we supposed to meet with the lady?
Sorry, when you're supposed to meet with who?
The lady?
She's not turning up here. Or at least
So-
she hasn't informed you that she's turning up.
When is our meeting with when are we supposed to meet to start discussing the spice contract, I guess?
That's entirely up to you guys. You're here to do business, so your people will talk to their people and start making things happen. So whatever
So maybe
time frame you want to do that happens, as you decide.
So
Do
we
we-
arrange.
Do we have a contact within House Tanielu that is aware of our secret agenda that we can connect with?
There is none.
No, they're not supposed to know that.
No, they're completely unaware. It is only Lady Tanielu who is aware of this.
Where are their spice fields located?
Where or what?
Where do they do their spice mining operations?
Everywhere. There's no set place. Because what happens is spotters will go out and they will look for spice sands. And when they find spice sands, then they will go and mine them.
So maybe we can use recommend spice mining near Tuek Sietch as a means of getting over there with a legitimate reason.
Here's what we do. We arrange for a meeting with their people at Carthag. We take 2 Thopters. One of those Thopters we're in, and we keep going. The other Thopter lands there with the staff and starts talking about the deal.
That would work. Because our advisors there are the ones that would be helping to set up the deal anyway. So
Yeah. So we could do some kind of shell game with the Thopters there too if we wanted to, but that might be unnecessarily complicated.
All right, well, that should work. It just means that you will be going off your flight plan. Or at least one of you guys will be going off your flight plan.
Seems solid.
All right, so how do you organize Thopters?
How does one normally organize that?
on the administration role.
Well, you can opt to purchase some. You obviously have sufficient Solaris, or you could charter.
Charter, would that essentially be similar to where it's similar to chartering a private plane where it generally includes their own pilot?
You could charter and have a pilot, or you could charter and provide your own pilot.
Okay, let's
Well, I mean, if we're going to be here long term, in theory, we may as well purchase some.
Yeah, I was trying to debate between the two, and yeah, it might be purchasing. It might be the best bet. We should be able to handle the logistics in terms of hangar space and maintenance and all that. So yeah, I think if we purchase the 2 of them, then that ought to do fine.
All right, that's not a problem. I guess an administration role would be sufficient. And if someone has a mechanic skill, you can inspect Thopter to see if it's in good condition, or Thopters. In this case, they're not going to be brand new. Actually, give me a reaction roll. On a very good, then there are brand new Thopters to buy. Who hasn't made a roll yet? Ethan.
I think.
No, Atticus. Atticus can make the roll. So, universe reaction. Oh no, it's AFK. Alright, Ethan, you can make a universe reaction roll.
All right. Oh,
Okay. All the Thopters available to purchase have seen hard work.
Well, they're cheaper.
Does anyone have a mechanic skill?
I
An
do not.
appropriate mechanic skill?
If anybody did, it'd probably be Atticus, and I kind of doubt it. Although, to be fair, he could probably use his piloting skill as a substitute for that.
Yes.
Sorry, I was AFK.
An IQ-based piloting skill. Did you catch what's
Okay.
happening?
Yeah, we some Thopters, and it looks like he rolled poorly.
yes.
Right, so these Thopters have had a hard
Gotta
life.
remember how to do this.
So you just drag your skill onto the IQ stat.
Ew, that's gonna suck.
Okay, you look it over, or look over both the Thopters. Actually, give me a roll for each one. So give me a second roll.
Damn it! I grabbed my stupid Xbox controller and it's pushing the button and it's talking. I'm like, no, damn it! It's not. That's not where it's at. Yeah, I was gonna say we also should have actual mechanic-y types here as well.
Okay, so you, in purchasing these Thopters, you will inspect them, and you can at least clear them of any major defects. And while there's some, they obviously need some servicing. There's nothing that sort of alarms you.
Apart from the fact that they're in poor shape.
Yes, they've seen a hard life.
Given the nature of our company's mission here,
Yeah, we should
I
have
think it
mechanic
stands to
types,
reason
right?
we probably have some pilots and/or ground crew.
Well, at the moment, you only have your Marines. You have 5 people, which are advisors and planners. So these people are most likely going to be, I guess there will be someone that's mechanically inclined, at least is familiar with machinery.
Okay, if
Then else
we
some of the
Not necessarily a
Marines
mechanic, but
might
at
be
least
that way.
familiar with how mine machinery works and stuff.
if we don't have our own people for that, then we're probably going to need to hire those people in order to manage the equipment.
Okay.
You can certainly contract people to service as part of your, you'll have to pay for hangar space, and I guess you could contract maintenance and all that sort of stuff as well. All that you will have more than sufficient funds to organise. It's just a matter of getting it in place. But at least the Thopters that you've bought, Atticus is able to look them over, and he sees no major defects.
So at least
They'll
they'll
get there.
fly.
They'll get there probably.
Well, if that's what we have, that's what we have.
When do we want to go to Tuek Sietch?
I'm going to assume that this is probably going to take place over a couple of days, organising Thopters.
Probably.
Yeah, because I'm going to be taking my going over that stuff.
So during that time frame, I would have my way back to I need to know when we're Lord Tanson. When do you expect us to go to the Tuek Sietch so I can let the water seller know?
We'll wait for the work to be completed on the Thopters, and then we'll probably take a day to gather provisions and double check equipment and any local recommendations for a trip down south, and then we will proceed.
It's probably about a week.
Maybe not that much.
Yeah,
Maybe like
if it takes,
3
if it
days,
takes
4
like
days.
3 or 4 days for Atticus to do his work, then tack on one more, and then we leave the following.
All right, so 5 days.
Just kidding.
That'll do it.
Okay, so I'll make my way back to Irvine the next day and let them know that we will come and get them in 5 days. Again, I'll make sure I'm not being followed.
All right, so 5 days is going to pass. Is there any preparations, stuff that's, you're doing, investigations, research, or anything like that, that's going to happen in that time? This is probably more aimed at Valtieri, since his role is to secure stuff, counter-espionage.
Sorry, I had to jump up. I heard my ears burning.
So you've got 5 days. In that 5 days, is there any general sort of stuff that any of you wish to do? This is like broad brush type stuff.
We're gonna have to deal with security here, seeing as we've already been observed. So, outfitting the villa to that end, I suppose. Working on schedules and procedures.
Okay. Anything specific? Any particular research or
nothing
anything?
specific.
I will get a roll on perceptions in the box from people. All right, so over the 5 days, you will all notice something out of the ordinary, which leads you to believe that you are being observed. So you might be in town, you'll catch someone paying particular attention to what you're doing. Soon as you sort of look at them, they'll turn away and walk off. Actually, that's everyone except for Atticus. So as you're going about your business, you'll each have incidents where you notice something that tells you that you're being observed. So your activity here is not unnoticed.
Stands to reason I don't notice crap from messing with these stupid ornithopters.
I'm gonna recommend we do try a shell game. I do have a cosmetics kit and disguise kit that we could take some of the advisors, specifically Lord Tanson, and have one of them dress up as Lord Tanson. So that when we get into ornithopters, they're going to have a tendency to follow that. The fake Lord Tanson. And then the rest of us get on the other one. So Lord Tanson will seem to have gone to Carthage for the meeting, while the rest of us go where we need to go.
Well, if everybody's wearing still suits, it shouldn't be too hard to disguise them.
We'll have to get rid of the redhead.
Well, if you're wearing a still suit properly, you're going to have the hat. Not the hat, but the head covering. Did they do that in the movie? I can't remember.
I was trying to think, but
They did not.
In the head
Their
wrap?
heads
They
were
did.
not covered.
Yeah, they were. There was one scene when they were heading to the meeting place where they ran into Stilgar towards the end when they were crossing the worm territory.
Yeah,
I seem to recall Jessica dressed up with the headgear as they were heading
I
to
thought they did.
meet Stilgar the first time.
And I don't recall Paul Atreides, when he was wearing the still suit, was wearing a mask or anything like that. His head was uncovered.
Bad still suit discipline.
All right, so over those 5 days, each of you has several incidents that indicate you're being observed, and Valtteri, you can sort of confirm that. Your presence here has alerted peoples, and peoples are taking interest. Who they are, you're not sure. You would have to start to build a network of contacts or whatever. You'd have to get some little birds to try and, work that out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start that process, I guess. Yes, the suits did have hoods.
Okay. Either way, I can still try to disguise Lord Tanson just enough so that he is not as easily recognizable, and get one of the guards or advisors to look a little bit more like him.
Valtteri, give me, I don't know, intelligence analysis.
All right. Hey, that roll didn't suck.
So as people report in their strange happenings, you sort of build a profile of what's going on. Mm-hmm. And as far as you can tell, it is not hostile. It is purely observational.
Informational. Yeah.
People are watching you to gather information. It's not like you don't feel that there's like an assassination attempt or anything, like any hostile action coming, at least at this point, people are just gathering information on you.
They all seem to be keeping their distance.
Do we recognize any of the house? Do any of them show any house colors or anything like that?
No, they would be poor spies if they did.
Okay. But they are Harkonnen, which makes me suspect it might be
Well,
it might be
there's not
agents.
necessarily Harkonnen. At least you can confirm the guy that was following you spoke to a Harkonnen.
Okay. I'm suspecting it might be agents of House Tanielu's Harkonnen boyfriend.
Well, it could just as easily be the Count's people as well. I mean, everybody's going to have an interest in knowing who's doing what around here. So, but we do at least strongly suspect that Harkonnen is involved. So, we should probably treat him as hostile. And try not to get caught doing anything untoward.
Indeed.
We are past time. There.
Are we?
Oh no, we're not. Good. I forgot we're starting an hour later.
I figured you were like, okay, I'm gonna go take some NyQuil and lay down. See you guys later.
No. I forgot we're starting an hour later because of daylight saving.
Because of stupid time, right?
Alright, so good. We do have time. So if Atticus is spending extra time, you can get up to a +5 on your roll, so that's modified your pilot roll earlier to a succeed by 3 and a succeed by 4. Alright, so you, in going over these things longer term, I guess you will enlist the aid of mechanics and stuff. However, you will supervise their stuff. And in the course of the days, you will find some minor issues that could become major if left unattended. And that's with both of them. So you can organise such repairs. So if you didn't have the extra time, they would have been completely missed.
Right. It's not going to change anything with regards to my result. But I am, since we still have this is still within the 3 sessions, I'm going to be dropping a perk that I had planned on, or I had gotten. It was like the quick swap perk, and putting that point into mechanic ornithopter. I mean, I still only got a 9 in it, but hey, that's better than not having it at all, right?
Cool. You could also spend points in this session into that as well.
Those are already covered.
All right, so you will be able to repair one if it's so broke.
Yeah, because my mechanic ornithopter skill is 9, and based off of that relative skill, the piloting IQ was still 9. So there's no real difference.
Still, I think it is an actual IQ-based piloting to inspect a vehicle. I seem to recall something like that. In any case, you, over the course of the days, you did find these minor issues, and you can get the technicians to fix them.
Huzzah.
It's just surprising that you're the only one that didn't see weird stuff going on there.
Not surprising. I'm there with the Thopters all the time. Plus, my perception is significantly lower than everyone else's because I'm the dummy in the group. By a large margin, I think.
Give me an observation roll, please. Observation or perception, which is Atticus. Yeah, you're obviously busy.
It isn't really my wheelhouse. I mean, I'm nominally competent with it, so I'm like,
All right, so the days pass. You've made no particular arrangements or anything like that, other than whatever usual general broad brush strokes sort of stuff you've organised. Your villa has been furnished. Do you organise house staff?
Yeah, I think that'd be par for the course.
So you will hire some staff. Who is going to vet your staff?
I would likely leave that up to Valtteri and or Tycho. And Atticus in the room, just you never.
All right. Valtteri, give me an appropriate skill roll.
yeah,
As to
my
how
idea of vetting the staff is bad. Let's see what color your blood is.
What?
What?
What would that be?
So choose the skill that you use to vet them, and then
Choose wisely.
roll.
Probably interrogation, right?
I
Any
don't
number
have
of 'em, I would
interrogation.
think. I'd think like interrogation, body language, detect lies, etc., etc.
This will just be
kind of, yeah.
an abstracted roll.
Uh-huh.
She is the housekeeper.
If, for example, you use intimidation, you vet them by scaring the crap out of them.
Seems like detect lies is probably the most applicable.
Can I assist with body language?
I can assist myself with body language.
Yeah, but Lord Thompson stuck the two of you on the job, so y'all need to fight it out.
So who is the assist and who's making the roll?
Valtteri is a security specialist, right? So I will be assisting.
Unless he rolled much better, in which case then it's flipped. Who cares that that's not how it's supposed to work?
So if I made the body language, it's +3 to detect lies.
And with the assist,
Assuming
that
that's
may be
even
a
really relevant
+1.
here, because this isn't exactly lie detection.
Could be.
All right. Actually, can I get... Let's get Atticus. Give me a universe reaction roll in the box, please.
You're all doomed. Doomed, I tell you, doomed. I probably shouldn't be looking at that.
It doesn't matter.
Then why did I have to roll it in the box? Huh?
It's for my benefit. Okay, so you will start vetting house staff, and in that process, you will discover one person that appears to be a spy, or at least not what they appear to seem to be.
Well, we won't hire that person.
Are we
Might
going
be a
to
vermin.
interrogate them?
She might be the housekeeper.
If you want to go track him down into the dark alley and tell him to swear to you, then that's your business, I guess.
And
Are you
you'll
trying to
be
turn him into Batman.
you'll be hiring people from the locals, and of note, they all have blue within blue eyes. So they've all been here a long time.
Right, so this is movie Blue and Blue, or is it, book Blue and Blue?
Well, we'll go movie blue and blue.
Boo. One day, a thing of they're going to actually do the eyes of a bad correctly. But this is not that day.
So yeah, you find one person that does not pass the vetting process. Do you have, other than not hiring them, are you doing anything else?
I'm not making any plans to do anything else.
I will follow Valtyrie's lead in this matter.
Okay, so you will hire a house staff, and that consists of, whoever, cleaners, cooks, servants, and the sort. All right, so the days pass. The time comes when you plan to head out to 2X Sietch to meet your contact.
Do you want to be this guide, my Lord Tanson?
No.
You want me to disguise one of the guards to look like you?
I believe you had already planned for that, so
So, both or just the guard?
I was thinking just the guard. If I remember correctly, that was the plan you shared.
Okay. I will try to disguise one of the guards as to make him look a little bit more like Lord Tanson. I'll find someone with a suitable build and features and give him robes and garbs and stuff like that make him and dye his hair red and all that stuff.
Right. So you give him the Amidala treatment, make a roll.
And I can take time on this, right?
Well, honestly,
Up
if
to
we're
+5.
descended from Irish, it's entirely possible some of them are redheads.
Yeah.
So what pluses can I add for taking time?
Maximum +5.
Plus
That's
5.
taking 30 times as long.
Like
Um,
what, 30 minutes or something, or what? Or
A disguise attempt takes, I think it's an hour.
30 minutes to an hour of preparation.
Woo! You don't want to take 30 times on that. Good lord.
Well,
no,
yeah.
I don't need
I mean,
to do that.
we've got 5 days ahead of time. We could work on it.
Make a
I
roll,
could,
and let's
actually.
see if it really matters.
Okay.
So just make a roll without any bonuses. Alright, so it's not really going to matter. You will get bonuses on top of that, so your margin
Yeah.
of success is huge.
Because you are imitating a specific person, but not for someone that knows him well.
Alright, so you will have the decoy guy set up. You will find
Alright.
yourselves heading to the tarmac where your Thopters are waiting.
So I
Prepared
think what's
Thopters.
probably going to happen there is we'll probably take both Thopters to Carthag, and then on the way out, one of them will go back to Arkeen, and the other one will go sightseeing, quote unquote.
Wait, why are we going to Carthag?
Drop
That
off
was
the
the meeting.
administrators to start with the contracts.
Ah, gotcha.
Alright. So, 2 Thopters are prepared on the tarmac. You're taking both to Carthag. Can I get a piloting roll?
I suppose you could.
Let's not critically fail. And who's going in Atticus's Thopter? I assume all the PCs.
Well, it doesn't matter in this case unless, something happens on the way there.
I think it matters. Where Tonson's going with me, whether he knows it or not.
I had a feeling that would be the case.
I'd probably also disguise someone as Atticus too to keep the charade going. So, you want me to do another disguise roll?
If that's what you want to do, then you can.
No, I must also admit I really liked their Thopters in Dune.
I love them too.
They are sexy as hell you're looking at.
So I was thinking, because I was watching it the other day again, you don't want to be walking near one of those when they start
No, good
flapping.
God, no.
No.
Well, you don't want to be walking near a freaking helicopter when the rotors start spinning either.
Right, but they're typically over your head, and
Yeah.
you can duck down. You duck under a Thopter, you'll still get smacked.
But man, they are cool looking.
They are very cool. Okay, so you will board the Thopters. You head to Carthag. You're dropping off your work crew. I guess you go through the motions of setting up meetings and talking and doing the legitimate stuff.
Yep.
You
But
can probably actually do the initial meeting and then leave.
But you'll be
You just have to
leaving.
do-
You'll be leaving the advisors and stuff there longer term.
Right. Right.
So I will assume that you will do the business end of things. I guess you can give me, I don't know, some sort of, I guess,
Yeah,
administration,
what is that?
business, professional skill, business something.
That I do not have. I have leadership, merchant, administration.
Administration. Let's do that.
Administration.
It's going to be interesting to see after this particular session is over how many times we've rolled administration.
It's quickly
bet.
becoming my most valuable skill.
I haven't rolled it yet.
I bet it's the most times we've rolled that skill ever so far.
I would bet that it's combined more than any previous games.
All right,
More
so
than any of the previous games combined.
excuse me while I have another coughing fit.
Cough, cough, hack, hack.
I hate it. It's at the tail end of a flu, where no matter how much you cough, you just can't dislodge, that crap.
Yep. The tail end of being sick is always, in my opinion, the worst part. Because it's like you're starting to feel normal again, but it's just like, come on, I just want to get this over with. Can I move on with it?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so you will spend a couple of hours going over the business end of things, and all that seems to go well. But the important stuff is happening on your way back, when you will lodge that you're going to do some sightseeing.
Indeed.
So I will
Suspect
get.
You're gonna phrase it better than that.
Well, that's the end effect anyway. We have a nobleman aboard. They do that sort of thing.
You can come up with all manner of reason to
be honest, I
fly
think
around.
I think the best reason is to say that we are flying south to inspect their spice operation.
You don't have to give, in lodging an actual flight plan, you don't have to give the reasons or anything. You just need to say you're going here to here at this time. So you don't need to give any details or anything like that.
And they may not be that uppity about it around here.
If you just
Sorry,
say, excuse me.
we did pick up Ivar, right?
Well, we kind of needed to, so yes.
Yeah, that was on the itinerary.
Just to make sure.
And the GM is dead.
Hacking up a lung.
Okay, back. Unpleasant.
He's not dead.
See? He was hacking up a lung.
All right,
He
so
need that lung.
you will begin to fly. Give me another Thopter roll.
Don't kill us.
Lawn dart. wheel fell off and the damn thing flipped.
Yes, indeed.
So you all pick up Lavar.
Oh, we're not going to leave him behind.
No, he's directing us.
He's our guide.
Excuse me while I cough again.
I cough in your general direction.
Actually, let's take this opportunity to take a less than 5-minute break. So have a quick break.
Okie.
No, I refuse.
Well, you don't have to go on break, but the GM is. All right. Couple-minute break.
Roger break.
Right, we're back.
And here comes the Fremen anti-aircraft missile.
All right, so you begin to fly. Well, actually, it's not south. It would be west.
In the appropriate direction.
Since where you're going is on the same.
Hey, Brian, did you see what Daniel just stuck on Discord?
I did not.
You need to check that out.
That's getting used.
He could be a Fremen badass. As long as he's not written as poorly as he was in The Last Jedi, I'm okay.
All right, so you will fly west, since the map is a polar map. So you will fly along the shield wall, occasionally over the desert sands, and eventually around to where Tuek's Sietch is supposed to be.
Okay. It took me a minute to get why you were prevaricating over the direction. Yes, that is weird.
Yes, because this is the North Pole, so every direction from north is south.
Which makes you wonder how they have to handle that in the Antarctic.
Every direction's north.
I'd like to know how flat earthers work out which way is west and east and west.
Meh, who cares? They're
I
crazy.
bet you really don't.
No.
So the GM is putting together his vehicle stats. So he has your vehicle dodge.
My vehicle dodge is, oh yeah, I guess I just need the handling, because my vehicle dodge right now is just a crappy 7.
Okay, so the Lavar will indicate how it is you should approach the Sietch, and then you will come.
And we shall do so.
And you will come to a sort of rock outcrop, which looks like this.
Uh-oh.
There's no grid.
It
I
sure
see a
looks like
grid.
there's a grid.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing things. There's no grid. The T is your Thopter.
Lame.
Where's the what? You don't have a cool mini?
No, I don't.
That is lame, Daniel. Get on it. Daniel's like,
It's surprising.
why you keep getting this job?
It is surprisingly hard to find Dune artwork. There's so much
I
different
haven't had any trouble.
stuff. Well, your Google food is better than mine. Okay, so where the arrow is pointing is the entrance to the Sietch. There is a set of stairs that go down, or that will disappear into the ground. Where are you parking your Thopter?
That's a good question.
Where Bard tells us to. Bard tells us to.
Does he have any recommendations? Where should we park it?
You asking Levar?
Yeah, if he's more familiar with this place than we are, because we don't want to land on drum sand or anything.
This area is away from the desert sand, so this is on the rocks itself. So there's no worms or anything like that here. No issue. He says you could land there, but he's not saying it for any specific or tactical point of view or anything like that. It's just the closest, biggest, clearest, closest area to where you have to go.
Yeah, I guess just land there in the open, unless I am instructed to land somewhere else.
No, I don't have any other opinions that I can make a convincing case for.
We get a little closer to one of those big ones.
Okay, so you happy with that?
Yeah, we'll land there,
Works for me.
Lock it in.
and then we'll get attacked by Fremen.
Size.
See, we're about to get attacked by Fremen.
Surprising no one.
Okay, so you will land. Lavar will tell you to wait on board until he signals for you to come out. He will exit the Thopter, and he will then, at this point, Lavar is wearing a still suit, and those of you that are in the know, how would you know if it's a Fremen still suit or a normal still suit?
I
Environment
don't know.
suits, probably environment suit, still suit, intelligent role.
Yeah, that'll do it.
No, I don't know if there is any physical difference. I mean,
Cultural familiarity.
no, I can see
Actually-
where Paul was coming from.
An IQ-based environment suit roll, that'll work.
Nope. I don't have an environment suit. I just called it still suit. Same thing.
And I'll go with the person that succeeded by the most, which is
Which ain't me.
Valtieri. So Valtieri, you will note that Lavar's still suit is Fremen.
Right. Okay.
So he's currently
Desert polish from the city.
currently, wearing the still suit with the hood and all that sort of stuff. As soon as he disembarks, you'll see he'll remove the hood and uncover his face. He'll walk up and just stand there for a while. And as you guys are sitting and just watching, you will see rocks that sort of move, and the sand sort of moves, and emerging from these locations is a couple of
Hobbits.
peoples.
Looks like hobbits based on their size.
They're very small.
You see that?
That's right.
That's desert power. Hey Daniel, did you see that link that I just that I had posted?
Yeah, I saw that.
They embiggened.
So they're Duergar.
So they will emerge. Lavar will sort of raise his hand and gesture, and then these guys will sort of begin to walk towards the Thopter, and Lavar will start to walk to them, and he turns back to you guys and gestures, "It's okay for you to come out now."
Power everything down and get out.
Yep.
Does anyone understand the Fremen tongue? Was it Chakopsa?
I do not.
I don't think any of us have a legitimate reason to know that.
Yeah. Which actually reminds me, I need to remember where it is. They actually reference what the language is that is normal.
Galak is the standard.
I think that's
Language.
I think that's what I was.
Imperial standard is Galak. All right, so you will begin to approach these guys, and they will gesture a welcome, and Lavar will be speaking to them in their native language, which you do not understand. He will point back to you guys as part of the conversation. This goes on for a little bit. There's some nodding and stuff going on. Then Lavar will say, Wire is here. We shall enter the Sietch.
Do we have like any netting or anything like that we can throw over the Thopter to maybe conceal it from sight above? It's not paranoia if they're actually after you.
I will let you do something in regards to that. If you can suggest an appropriate skill roll that you can roll to, have worked that out pre-departure.
Well, I don't know if that's something that would necessarily occur to us, but if this is actually a Fremen siege, they may actually have something like that and want to do that.
And them being smugglers too, they would want to hide their presence.
That is also a valid point.
So hiding the ornithopter would be a valid point even for the smugglers.
We may just ask them: is there someplace we can secure the Thopter so it can't be seen by anyone who happens to stumble over the area?
Tansen, diplomacy.
If it's mentioned, the Fremen say, we have a means to cover it.
Would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
And they blow it into tiny bits.
That's not what I was talking about.
It's here that you find the stairs, and the stairs are just carved into the rock, but they are steep stairs, and you wouldn't want to lose your footing because you're going to take a tumble. So you will start to head that way.
For what it's worth, Brian, Chakobsa is the actually House Atreides' battle language.
Okay.
I
don't know the Fremen language.
Yeah. I'm looking at seeing if there's thing that shows up. Carry on.
So the RPG has the language. Not important right now. Anyway, so you will start heading that direction. Can I get hearing-based perception rolls from people, please?
Nope. I told you, nope. Man, it sucks being the dummy with the low IQ.
You can increase your perception.
And here we are at the end of the game and come full circle.
Okay. Valtieri, with a roll like that, you have advanced warning.
Advance warning of what?
Ninjas.
Yes.
Desert ninja.
Goddamn ninjas.
Just fix the map on. Okay. So you will hear in the distance actually you need to give me an IQ roll now as well. You hear something? Can you identify it?
So it looks like
Sure.
Chicopsa may have been is tied, but it's a mixture of Arabic and Chicopsa.
Barely.
Okay, so you will hear in the distance, carried by the wind, the distinct sound of another Thopter approaching. You will look to see in the sky a dot as a Thopter approaches from, I guess we will say, the east on this map. You cannot make out any markings or anything like that on this particular Thopter.
I'll point it out.
All right, well, when you point it out, everyone else is now aware of it, including the Fremen and stuff, and they seem to be rather alarmed, and immediately they start looking at you guys as in, this is a trap. And they sort of turn, and without actually drawing their crisp knives, they do put their hands on the crisp knife, ready to fight.
I'll put my hands up and say, we apologize. This was not of our doing. We had attempted to be extra careful in making sure that we would not lead anyone to your Sietch, although it appears we have failed.
We should go hide now.
What he said.
All right, give me a roll that seems to be diplomacy. You're not trying to bullshit them.
Seem to be missing a token. We don't have a token for
Ivar.
Lavar.
Fix that.
Guess my disguise didn't work that well. Or they bugged the ornithopters.
Could be a coincidence.
I told Lord Tanzan he should have gotten disguised.
Could also be Lavar.
The bar's a traitor. Yeah, could be.
You suspect the Var as being Fremen. It would be unlikely that the Fremen are working with the Harkonnen.
Yeah. The other Thopter could be bringing snacks.
Murder snacks.
That's correct, because this is not a grid.
So, diplomacy, did it work?
It does. They seem to believe that this is not a trap, and don't immediately begin to murder you. Although there is that moment where you clearly felt that violence was about to happen. Then their attention is diverted again to the approaching Thopter, at which point you will see the familiar sight of a missile streak as it flies through the air overhead and comes down on your Thopter.
I thought we camouflaged it.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean it worked.
No,
You
we
were-
we're in the process of about to camouflage it. I don't think we actually.
Yes, you didn't get that far. These guys turned up before that happened.
Lame.
Explosions.
Explosions.
Oh, actually, we don't have time. There's Unity things that allow me to put flames and fire and stuff.
That's interesting.
I should have thought about that earlier. But anyway,
How would that work?
there's like tokens and stuff.
So they have animated tokens.
No, I don't think they're animated, but they have tokens for things like that.
Oh, okay.
So I could just paint, because you can use like a brush, a stamp tool.
Right.
So I can just stamp fire everywhere over there.
Well, okay, that's a thing, I guess.
Oh, there we go. We buy an ornithopter and we lose it. Man.
Yeah, that sucks. At least we got it cheap.
Yep.
True
Would have
that.
been worse if it was brand new.
Kaboom!
It goes bang. You guys are narrowly missed by flying debris and the Thopter. It comes down to land over here. And several armed people disembark. As they disembark from their Thopter, you will see they activate shields.
Who?
Oh yeah, I guess if we're still,
You fools!
we are still on the side of the shield wall, aren't we?
You're not in the, like I said, this area. Worms cannot get to.
Oh. Well, damn it.
Worms cannot or can?
And not.
Luckily, they're just hobbits.
That way, over there, the rock face comes to an end, and that is where the open desert is. They are armed with rifles. They don't have any particular, uniforms or anything like that. I guess an IQ-based armory roll.
Are they slug guns?
They are slug guns, yes.
Well, I suppose if we knew that we weren't going out into the deep desert, then no reason we couldn't have brought along our shields.
I'm not
Well,
sure
we would have
if
brought
we,
everything with us.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we actually know that the shields attract worms. Because if you recall, they actually ask, well, why don't we just shield the carryalls? And Liet Kynes is like, no, that's a terrible idea. Shields attract the worms. So
That's true.
that's something that the Atreides didn't know. So
I would be perfectly okay with you guys having your own personal shields if you have them.
It doesn't make sense not to.
Yeah, they're not on all the time, so
Activate
They're about
shield.
to be.
So I guess we're going to have a big fight at the beginning of next session. Hopefully the Fremen will pop up.
Desert power.
since we are at time, we will begin next session with the big fight.
Yep.
One shot all the bad guys.
The
What was that?
Thopter is likewise unmarked.
So we need to go punk these dudes to steal their copter.
Pretty much.
Go, hey, this one's better than the one they blew up. Nice. It's got rockets and shit. Sweet.
And look, the fuel line isn't leaking on this one.
And since
How did we miss that?
since you guys are wearing shields, and I assume that you shield up,
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the Fremen will sort of take cover to evaluate the situation. While these guys will begin, they sort of stop, take some pot shots at you, realize that you are shielded and their weapons are totally useless. They will shoulder their weapons and they will draw short swords and they will begin to
Yarg.
charge.
You know what's going to really suck for them? I have maxed out penetrate shield technique. So that means I use my regular base knife attack skill against these buggers.
I think I have
Atticus should be a
couple
murder
points of it.
machine.
Yeah, he should. Well, we saw what
I guess we'll find out.
Duncan was like, and he is quite a bit better than Atticus.
And
And you know
these
what-
guys don't look like Sardaukar, so
True that.
I do like in the film, you see the Harkonnen and the Atreides at the palace. The Atreides are on the stairs.
Uh-huh.
The Harkonnens are down the bottom. They're fighting, and not much is happening. Then the Sardaukar turn up, and then they just, within seconds,
Yeah,
they're all dead.
When we watched that, Daniel pointed out, and it's like, and I agree with him. That's actually really good visual storytelling, because you see how scary badass the Sardaukar are, and then you see Duncan just start cutting through them, and you're like, oh, okay. And you know
So
what's
question.
interesting is in the wiki, it actually points out that that even though Duncan is like super badass, Gurney's actually regarded as more lethal. You know, typically beating Duncan was 6 times out of 10 in a duel.
Well, Gurney Halleck was the person that trained Paul Atreides in
Well, so did
martial
Duncan.
arts.
Both
No,
of them trained him.
Probably the impression was that Gurney trained Duncan. So
No. Duncan went to Ginaz. He was a sword master at Ginaz.
So question, penetrating, is it penetrating strike that we need to learn, put in there for
Penetrate
technique?
shield.
Penetrate shield. Is it the same as penetrating strike?
I don't know
Or
what
is
that
it?
is.
I don't think it's the same. It's a different
Yeah,
technique.
I think I just created a new thing and used that.
What is the negatives for penetrating shield?
It's based off of your skill -3.
I think
It's
that's
3 or
right.
4, I can't remember.
I think it's 3, and then you can buy it up with 3 ranks in penetrate shield.
Yeah, and that's what I did. Which it made sense for me to have it maxed out.
All right, so penetrating shield. Thank you. Minus
All right.
3 of base skill.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
it's
an
still-
average
still-
technique.
Yep. Cool. All right. And so next week is all good.
Next week is
Right.
all good.
Okay. And then the week after that, no game and good to go. All right. Cool beans.
So 2 points for everyone.
You
Any questions before we finish this up?
Not yet. We're going to see if you remembered to, get your script.
I don't have to because Geiger
Oh,
copy
yeah,
and
that's
pasted
right.
already.
I totally cheesed it for you.
That is lame.
Did you see the token?
The token. Is there a token for it?
No, I did the Thopter token in Discord.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, good night,
That works.
everybody.
All right.
So if you're watching this and you have any questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Bye.
Good night, stream.
Bye.